How's it going, everybody? Today, I got a new camera. Why? Because it's my birthday. Well, probably not by the time you're watching this. It'll probably be a little bit later, like maybe next week or something. But today is my birthday, and I'm actually shooting this video on the brand new camera I just got. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking about my 3 favorite thrill rides at Walt Disney World. Let's roll the intro and get started. How's it going, everybody? I'm Josh and I'm with Disney Dads. Today I'm going to talk about my top 3 favorite thrill rides at Walt Disney World. Now, first I want to debunk the myth that Disney is nothing but rides for kids. That's absolutely not the case. When you go to Disney World, each park has at least a few rides that are oriented more towards adults. So when you go, don't worry that there's not going to be anything to do for the parents or for the teenagers or anything like that. There's lots of stuff to do for everybody. So today I'm going to go over the things that are more oriented towards either the thrill-seeking kids, teenagers, or adults. So let's get this kicked off. My number 1 favorite thrill ride at Walt Disney World is Rock and Roller Coaster. This ride is over at Hollywood Studios, down at the end of Sunset Boulevard, right across from Tower of Terror. It's a roller coaster that's all indoors, featuring Aerosmith. It is awesome. It's freaking awesome. Now, this ride right here has got a ton of awesome features about it. It is the only roller coaster at Disney World that has inversions, aka it goes upside down. There's actually 3 of them on this ride. It's also one of the fastest roller coasters. It's only beat out by Test Track. This ride is, the summary of it is, you show up at Aerosmith's recording studio and the band's getting ready to do a concert down in Los Angeles. And you are invited to that concert. Aerosmith, wants to bring you down there. Steve Tyler hollers at you to get in the limo and meet him at the concert. Well, the ride is you going from the recording studio to the backstage concert. And it's you dodging all of that classic LA traffic. So this ride's really awesome. It starts off with a freaking fast launch. You go from 0 to 57 miles an hour in 2.8 seconds. You haul butt. Really neat. You go flying down the tunnel. Camera's right there taking your pictures. Your face is like stretched, plastered flat against the seat. You go through, you start flipping through inversions, ups, downs, hills, turns, banks. It's got it all. It's a great ride. I highly recommend it. This ride opened in 1999. It still, like I said, it still holds the record for the only ride at Disney to have inversions. This may change with the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster opening up possibly in the next few years, maybe. We're not really sure what the details are on that yet, but as they come out, make sure you guys know about it. The ride does have a minimum height requirement of 48 inches. Disney does cover their height requirements very strictly. This applies to all the rides at Disney, not just these thrill rides or roller coasters. All rides are strictly enforced. So make sure your kid is at 48 inches before you let them know, hey, you can go on this ride, little Johnny, because that might not be the case. My daughter was severely disappointed. She went up to Everest, wanted to go ride it, and you could barely slide a paper between the top of her head and the bottom of the measuring marker. But she didn't meet the height requirement. They wouldn't let her go on. She was really disappointed. She got to go on it next year. It was about a year after we went after that. It was kind of a long break there. But she had enough time to grow. She made it. She rode Everest. She was happy. All right, so that was my number 1 ride. Let's go on to number 2. My number 2 favorite thrill ride at Disney is Mission Space. Now, this is probably going to throw a lot of people off because they're going to be like, Mission Space, what? I'm a huge space fan. I love astronauts and space and galaxy stuff, and that's me. I love it. I think it's freaking awesome. If I could be an astronaut and if I put in the time into school and really tried, I probably would be. But alas, I'm not, and that's okay because I get to go to Disney World and ride Mission Space and feel like I'm a freaking astronaut. This ride is a simulator, centrifugal, simulator. And what you do is you sit in a spaceship, and there's 4 of you, and each of you have a specific role, and you'll go through that in your orientation as you go through the queue line. And this ride simulates the effects of launching, your ship, going around Earth, hitting the G-forces, hypersleep, and then when you land on Mars. Now, Disney did change this a few years ago. There's no longer just the one standard way. There's actually two lines. There's the green team and there's the orange team. The green team is a little more laid back. Well, it's a lot more laid back. It actually doesn't do the force you in your seat and you feel like you can't breathe and your tunnel vision and things are going black and white and you might get sick. It's not nearly to that extent. It does still move around. It is still a simulator. It is still in a tight space. So if you're really prone to motion sickness, probably bypass this ride altogether. But if you just want to go and enjoy a basic motion simulator and still have some of the effects of it and have some fun, pick the green team. If you are a all thrill, I want the full effect, massive G's, I want to not be able to pick my head up off the seat kind of force, then go for the orange team. The orange team is great. That's what my daughter first rode when she did it. She loved it. That's what I ride. But be aware, especially on this and maybe a little bit on the green, you will be prone, you will be exposed to simulator-like conditions. So if you do have a really bad case of motion sickness or vertigo, stuff like that, this can trigger it. There are motion sickness bags in the simulator, the cockpit simulator, for a reason. Now, if you do have heart conditions, if you have stents, or if you have high blood pressure, or if you've had cases of aneurysms or whatever like that, bypass this ride. If you're pregnant, bypass this ride. This ride is not a joke when it comes to that. There have been people put into hospitals, and I think even worse than that on this ride because of known or unknown pre-existing conditions. Be aware, if you do have these medical conditions, bypass the ride. There's tons of warnings that tell you about it. Heed those warnings. It's true. While this ride is awesome, if you have issues, it could trigger those, so just be aware. Height requirement on this is 44 inches. So again, make sure that your littlest one is going to meet this before you kind of get them hyped up. Like I said, they do check before you even get into the queue, so that way you're not going through the whole line and you get to the end and they tell you no. All right, so that was number 2. On to number 3. My number 3 thrill ride at Walt Disney World is Expedition Everest. It is really freaking awesome. Seriously, these 3 have been the hardest decisions to make as far as what my favorite rides are, because Disney offers a lot of great rides. And it's not going to end here at 3. I'm actually going to give some honorable mentions, so I'm kind of cheating with 3. But there are honorable mentions here to show that there are really other really good rides. But my number 3 pick is Expedition Everest. Legend of the Forbidden Mountain, I think is the whole title of it. But everyone knows it as Everest or the Yeti ride. You hear a variety of descriptions of this. But I really enjoy this ride. It's Disney's newest roller coaster. It's incredibly smooth. It's incredibly well decorated and well done. Disney put a lot of time and effort into this, and you see it in the ride. It's got awesome effects on it. It has some good animatronics, and it throws you in a couple of really cool surprises in here. So when you go on the ride, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you've never been, but it's got a little trick up its sleeve. So if you don't like dark rides, you might want to pass on this one, because not only does this have a dark part in it, but it's got a little twist to it. There are no inversions on this ride, so you don't have to worry about that. And it doesn't go super fast, but I think it goes probably about, I'm guessing like 40 something miles an hour during its fastest part. But it's a pretty tight, compact coaster. Even though the mountain, Everest Mountain, is actually the largest mountain that Disney has at Disney World. It's 199 feet tall, I believe. Interesting fact, Disney does not make any of their stuff over 200 feet tall, because once you reach past 200 feet, you have to put the little red flashing light on top of your whatever it is that you make, and Disney feels that takes away from the magical effect, and I completely agree. I think that's a very true statement. Expedition Everest, though, is awesome. Disney put, like I said, tons of time into making you feel like you're truly in Nepal, getting ready to hike up the mountain. You're going through the monastery, or going through the expedition offices. You know, it's a real neat queue that you go through, and so it makes, you know, the wait in line go by that much faster. On this ride, Disney does have 3 different options for the line queues. There's the regular standby, there's the fast pass line, and there is the single rider line. That way it kind of helps fill each coaster car up a little bit quicker as people go through and the cars go through, so that way you're not losing out on space. And if you want to go through as a single rider, and it is single rider, so don't, you know, have you and your girlfriend go through and be like, oh yeah, we still, no, it's a single rider line. Ride height on this is 44 inches, and again, it is enforced, and this is the one that we found out that Disney really does enforce. So just be aware of that when you go through. Again, make sure your kids tall. So that's my top 3 favorite thrill rides at Disney, and I truly enjoy all 3 of those. I think they're really awesome rides. All right, so honorable mention rides. Test Track is definitely up there. I love Test Track. I think it's a great ride. There's nothing wrong with it, and by any means, I thoroughly enjoy it. I ride it every single time I go. I love it. Just didn't quite make top 3 for me. What else? Obviously, the 3 mountains at Magic Kingdom: Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain, and Space Mountain. All 3 of those are classic roller coaster / log rides is what Splash Mountain is. So they're great. Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, another great thrill ride. I enjoy that. It's just that I'm not a huge fan of the free fall drop rides. So to me, it doesn't make my top 3 thrills because I don't really give it too much variety as far as that goes. Still a really good ride. Don't want to knock it. It's just not my favorite. And then there's other rides that you classify as thrill rides, but I don't really consider them, like Star Tours. That's a thrill ride, I guess you could say. You have things like Dinosaur over in Dinoland USA of Animal Kingdom. That's a thrill ride. Again, that's a fun ride. It's indoors. It's a good one to get out of the heat and out of the weather, but not my favorite. And what else? You have things like the Primeval Whirl, which is the kind of the free spin coaster that's again over in Dinoland. That one will trigger, if you have motion sickness, guarantees to trigger that. So just beware. That one, leave your head spinning when you get off of it. And then obviously you have things like Flight of Passage, which again, a ride I think anybody could ride. I believe there is a height requirement for it, but I don't really consider it a thrill ride because there's people that I know that get seasick reading a road sign driving down the road, and they are not bothered by it. I don't really consider it a thrill ride. It's a good ride, but not one of those thrills. But that's my list for today, guys. Top 3 thrill rides at Disney World. Let me know what you think. Go down in the comment section below and drop what your favorite thrill ride is. I love hearing what you guys like and the differences that people have of opinions at Disney World, whether it's rides or food or whatever it is. I love hearing it. Fill up that comment section with your ideas and your opinions. I want to read them. I want to hear about them. And I really appreciate you guys watching this. If y'all liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see new content that's coming out, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you can see everything that I keep putting out. I try to get about a video a week out. Those like buttons, every time you smash it, lets me know that you guys are enjoying this and I can keep doing content like this. If you want to see something change, drop me a comment down below and with some ideas of what you want to see me talk about at Disney, whether it's something I experienced or I can talk about, because I've done a lot. So let me know if there's some stuff that you guys want to see in the future. But for now, that's it, guys. I hope y'all have a magical day. Drop me a content